we're talking, you know, we could approach, maybe 11, 12,000 out of my backyard. Um, in this neighborhood that with my knowledge, living in Oakland, working in law enforcement, that, oh, this is a gold mine. This is not unsafe. And the crazy thing about that is Oakland, the Bay Area, has been in the news for, I mean, it's gotten really bad. Like robberies are up by like 40% this year. Auto burglaries, like it's gotten really bad in the Bay Area. And none of that crime is in my neighborhood. And so the way that works is, well, people that are doing bad things, they want to make money. So if you're looking to steal from somebody, you want to steal from somebody that has stuff to steal. So they prey upon the tourists, which is really horrible that they're preying upon anybody. But so the few times where a guest have had their vehicle broken into, they were in they were in areas where I can't afford to live, right?
Mhm.
They were in the touristy areas, or on a hike where the homes are multi-million dollar homes. They park, they leave their car, they're going to hike, somebody breaks in. Nothing has ever happened on my street, and I've been living and at this property for this is year 10. This is year 10. No crime. And I tell people that if there was a crime issue on my block, trust and believe the guest would say it, right? I came here,
Mhm.
this happened to me, and they have every right to talk about their experience, right? We as business owners, I'm not here to coerce or try to push somebody into saying, "Hey, I hope you had a 5-star stay. My Wi-Fi," some people will say, set your Wi-Fi name to leave a 5-star review and stuff like that. That's just not my ministry. I really want people to be honest about how they felt, and I don't mention anything about the review. I let the market do what it's gonna do, and I take those reviews. They're all mostly excellent. I take that feedback, and I'm always looking to improve. So going back to the question, working in law enforcement gave me a firsthand experience about public safety, and why people are committing crimes and where they're committing crimes, and that gave me the foresight to buy where I bought, because I knew that this is a gold mine. And you know if I had the capital, I would buy more in this area. um, it is such a gold mine. And as a house hacker, all of my neighbors are house hackers, right? So on this street, except for like I have one neighbor, she's sitting on a gold mine. Um, I wish she doesn't realize what she has going on, the amount of space that she has. But she don't have to do what I do. But all of my neighbors have built additional units on their property. And we all have property the way that these homes were built. Every house has a side yard, or a significant sized backyard where you can fit a tiny house in if you wanted to. I mean, you can build an ADU if you wanted to, but we're talking about over 230,000. That's what the prices are these days. If you're lucky, but everybody has something going on, additional living space that they've added to their property, and this is just what we do here. And we don't have any. I mean, my neighbors are the best. I love my neighbors. We don't have a parking issue. I'm across the street from a school, so outside of drop off and pickup, my street is empty. So I got lucky finding this house. Got it at a good price. It's in a great area. I got amazing neighbors. It's a transportation hub. The bus that goes to the train station is right across the street from my house, and it's a 5-minute ride to the train station. That's a 30-minute ride to San Francisco if you want to use public transportation. So I couldn't ask for a better situation, and I would definitely purchase more property in this area given the opportunity, and I would replicate what I've already done. Buy the property, add some tiny houses to it, and kill it with the ROI.
Heck yeah, man. So first and foremost, how can house hackers unite, baby? Because that's my origin story, and I love to see another person, being able to just maximize the assets. assets over liabilities is a big buzzword. You know, the
Right,
guys over there at EYL, and
right,
they
right,
couldn't
right.
be more true, right? When you look at a single family property as an asset and you try to maximize the return that you can get from it, then you really set yourself up for success. And so,
Right.
hearing about your law enforcement journey and how you were able to utilize the understanding and information that you have from that lens and apply it to another space that you were considering going into, that's incredible because I understand, as they say, the golden handcuffs, the complacency that can be built into having that consistent,
Mhm.
comfortable, reliable 9 to 5. And by all means, don't get me wrong, it is nothing to be scoffed at, nothing to be looked down upon.
Yeah.
It is most certainly um, a valuable tool, but there is another way to structure your life. As you said earlier, I'm not trying to work that hard. And what I want to get people to understand is, when you step outside of your comfort zone, um, it might seem challenging and unsightly in ways that you might not be able to really have the vision of what's possible. But in hearing your story about how you were able to use the tools and experience that you've had from your law enforcement journey and
Mhm.
how that served you to be able to grow a 9,000, 10,000, $11,000 a month return off of a single family property, and that is amazing, and it just goes to show that we have within us the tools necessary already to be exceptional and excel at anything that we choose to. Sometimes it just takes the right time, the right person, the right circumstance for us to really realize that there is another way for us to break away from that time for money trade off. Now I'm sure you have a lot more of your time to invest into considering opening that hotel, and building on top of the business structure that you've established in Airbnb. Or if you have an inclination with music or art or
Mhm.
cooking or just whatever, spending more time with your newborn son, like you get to be the arbiter of your life now because you have invested your time in yourself.
I really love that, and if I can go further, um, I graduated from college with a degree in ethnic studies. I had plans to be a school teacher, and then I realized that after all those years in school and with the student loans, and I was like, I'm ready to eat steaks. Um, and I'm like, okay, I got to go get a master's so that I can bump up my salary as a teacher. And and I never finished my master's, but I went into probation work because I'd always worked with youth in different settings. But I was like, all right, well, this is the job that can get me, a significant income bump, and I can still work with the people, with the youth. Initially, in juvenile hall, and then I transitioned to working with adults. But what I didn't know, what I'm doing right now, I didn't know that this was in me. So I've been featured in Architectural Digest. I've been featured in Business Insider, USA Today, Travel and Leisure, Black Enterprise. The Wall Street Journal came to my house. Airbnb came to my house a couple weeks ago to shoot a mini documentary style interview, and there was this whole production crew at my house. When I was working in probation, getting that check, and they just got a nice raise too. I saw that. I was like, ooh. I was like,
That ain't bad.
because I'm just like, I pay 500 a month now for my medical, and I'm just like, I remember when it was free when I promoted to management. Like we had like this extra benefit where we had this extra money, and I'm like, everything, my medical, my dental, and everything was free. So, but um, now I am designing spaces. I'm in this DIY world where I can now, build a house from the ground up just off of me having the time and energy um, to, remodel these spaces. And I'm just like, wow, you know, all of this press came from the second tiny house that I listed, and I spent a lot of time in that space because I said I want this to go viral. And I used to sit down in it when I was designing, and I would just sit and look around and say, "How do I want people to feel when they step in this space?" Because this is tiny house number two now, and the first one is doing well. And I'm just like, okay, what can I do? What can I do that's going to get somebody's attention so they can come by and hear this story? I wanted to talk about this house hacking story, this tiny house story. And when I designed this space to get attention, to break the rules, to utilize materials in ways that they're not supposed to be used. So I put wallpaper on the bathroom floor and I covered it with layers and layers and layers of polyurethane. So when
Mm.
you walk into the bathroom floor, you look down and there's like a message you're walking on and it says love, love, love. And I'm like, I did it. I put mirrors on the ceiling, which for a lot of people is a no-no because they're like, what if they fall? And I'm like, those mirrors are so reinforced, they're not going anywhere. Um, but I'm like, I'm gonna take this risk, and I bought a canoe off of Etsy for $1,000. I have a canoe hanging in the living room area over the TV and stuff because I really wanted to take this to the next level, and I wanted to get the attention, and I got it. It happened. But I didn't know that I had this design thing in me when I was working full time. And now I always tell people, my educational background was in liberal arts. We did research, we wrote papers, research, 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 research. And so I resigned from my job July 2021. So we're a little over 2 years. Um, Working full time and going through, my daily routine and, being a dad, um, I never thought about the things that I think about now, right? Now I'm thinking about, what does it look like if I had a boutique hotel? Hmm, what does it look like if I created an educational platform where I'm teaching people about tiny houses? What does it look like if I go into journalism? What does it look like if I, want to go work for the Airbnb corporation? And, it doesn't have to be that I was in probation work for 30 years and I left. It could be I was an Airbnb host for 6 years, and then I did some interior design work, and then I did some filmmaking, and I did some journalism, and then I went back to working, and then I did some consulting, and then I can look back on my life and say I did all these things. Um, and I lived a great life. I had lots of experiences. Um, I was able to, utilize my education, the research skill that I learned in college to, look into, okay, I'm no longer happy with my career. Hmm, let me figure some things out. And the crazy thing about it was that it didn't dawn on me that I'm like, wait a minute, your mortgage is 1,600. What are you scared of? Like, you literally have that covered easily out of, one of these tiny houses is doubling, tripling your mortgage. You have nothing to lose. You have a great career, a great resume, great background, squeaky clean, never been in trouble. If I leave a job, I can also go back to the job or I can do another job.